Rumination and the path to harmony. Imagine the possibility of being free from rumination and conflict rehearsal as not just a distant dream, but a reachable reality. By looking into our inner environment, we'll find all the help we need. This means all the help we need is inside ourselves. Teachers, circumstances, challenges, a book we read, or an advice from a friend can eventually help us direct our attention inside. The longer and intense we look, the clearer we figure things out. I hope this video will be one of those circumstances or challenges that will help us look inside. Through various psychological and spiritual practices, individuals can learn to navigate these turbulent waters, finding the path that leads to clarity and peace. Rumination is the process of constantly thinking about the same thoughts or issues, particularly those related to negative experiences or concerns. It's akin to a mental loop, where thoughts are replayed over and over, without reaching a conclusion or solution. In psychology, rumination can be associated with mental health challenges, such as anxiety and depression. It may lead to a vicious cycle where negative thoughts reinforce negative emotions, making them more difficult to overcome. Unlike reflection, which is constructive and leads to understanding and growth, rumination tends to be fixated on problems, mistakes, or perceived inadequacies. Persistent rumination can lead to feelings of helplessness, stress, and may even exacerbate mental health conditions. While reflecting on a problem can lead to solutions, rumination often leads to a focus on the problem itself, rather than potential solutions. This creates a barrier to effective problem solving. Engaging in mindfulness or meditation practices can help in redirecting attention away from rumination. It encourages a presence in the moment, which can break the cycle of repetitive thinking. Engaging in hobbies or activities that you enjoy can shift the focus away from ruminative thoughts. In cases where rumination becomes overwhelming, seeking professional guidance from a mental health professional can provide personalized strategies to address the underlying issues. Exploring mindfulness practices or other spiritual disciplines could offer tools to address rumination in your life or in the lives of others. In the chaotic ebb and flow of life, humans often find themselves trapped in patterns of behavior and thought that seem beyond control. One such pattern is the unconscious rumination, which is often seen as a rehearsal of conflict, where the mind continually reenacts past traumas, anticipates future battles, and manufactures unnecessary mental drama. This cyclical pattern shapes our reality, influencing how we perceive ourselves and others, and often leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy of discord. But what if there were a way to break this cycle? A path to replace conflict and division with understanding and harmony. This video is not created with the aim of persuading anyone to follow a particular religion or belief system. Instead, it will reference Buddhist practices and teachings as an illustrative guide. As Eckhart Tolle emphasizes in The Power of Now, there is only one spiritual teaching that transcends individual doctrines. Please keep this perspective in mind as you engage with the content. Within the teachings of Buddhism, we may find wisdom to guide us on this transformative journey. Rumination and conflict rehearsal represents a deeply ingrained mental habit. Whether it stems from previous experiences of hurt, fear, or dissatisfaction, the mind finds solace in revisiting these emotional states, even when they cause suffering. The rehearsal is not always negative in nature. Sometimes, it's a preparation for a perceived threat, whether real or imaginary, but what we're talking about here is the replaying past and imaginary conflicts. The constant mental replaying of conflict affects our interpersonal relationships, inner peace, and overall well-being. It creates a tension-filled existence where peace and tranquility seem unattainable. Anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues may arise, further complicating the individual's life. The following is an arbitrary dialogue between two co-workers that may, in some way, echo or reflect your own life experiences. During a brainstorming session, Alex proposes an innovative idea. Sophia, believing in a more structured approach, immediately shoots it down, claiming it's too risky. An argument ensues. Alex: "You never take any risks. This could revolutionize our entire project." Sophia: "And it could ruin it, too. We need something solid and proven." They end the meeting with tension in the air, each believing firmly in their stance. Alex can't shake off Sophia's rejection of his idea. He feels misunderstood and stifled. His thoughts become consumed by the disagreement. Sophia, on the other hand, starts to doubt her own judgment. Was she too harsh? Is she holding the project back? Doubt and guilt start to creep into her thoughts. Days turn into weeks, and the once harmonious collaboration turns into a series of cold exchanges. The project's progress slows down, and the creativity once present in their partnership dwindles. They each replay the argument in their minds, creating imaginary scenarios where they either win the argument or find a perfect compromise. But these thoughts remain trapped in their minds, never translating into real communication. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like a wild elephant, untamed and prone to chaos. It requires understanding, care, and discipline to tame. The concept of mindfulness, or sati in Pali, emphasizes the cultivation of clear awareness of the present moment. Mindfulness is the art of paying full attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about witnessing thoughts, emotions, and sensations without getting entangled in them. By practicing mindfulness, one can observe the pattern of conflict rehearsal without feeding into it. This awareness creates space for choice and change. The Four Noble Truths, a central teaching in Buddhism, guide us in understanding the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. The truths explain that suffering exists, it has a cause, it can end, and there's a path to end it. The Eightfold Path offers practical guidelines for living a life in harmony with oneself and others. It includes right understanding, right intent, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Following these principles can lead to a life free from the shackles of unconscious conflict rehearsal. The cycle of rumination and conflict rehearsal is not a life sentence. With awareness, determination, and guidance from timeless wisdom like the teachings of Buddhism, individuals can embark on a path toward inner peace and harmony. By embracing the principles and mindfulness practices, one can cultivate a mind that is present, compassionate, and free from the unnecessary burdens of rehearsed conflict. The journey is neither quick nor easy, but the destination is a life filled with understanding, compassion, and genuine connection. Many psychological theories highlight that a great deal of our behavior is driven by unconscious processes. In the context of this statement, the rehearsing may be an unconscious repetition of past experiences, patterns, or fears that continue to shape our present reactions and perceptions. The creation of mental drama through this rehearsing can lead to heightened emotions, anxieties, and a distorted view of current situations. It's like carrying the baggage of past conflicts into new interactions, even when they don't apply. This unconscious rehearsing can indeed shape our reality. By constantly reliving and preparing for conflict, we might inadvertently create conditions that lead to more conflict. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy where the expectation of conflict leads to behaviors that provoke it. The call to stop this pattern is not just about a conscious decision to change behavior but may also involve a deeper awareness and understanding of these unconscious processes. It might require introspection, mindfulness, or therapeutic work to uncover and change these ingrained patterns. These insights point to a complex and pervasive issue in human psychology. The constant rehearsal of conflict can affect not only interpersonal relationships but also our inner peace and well-being. It can create a state of constant tension and preparedness for battle, even when no real threat exists. The statement's challenge to say no more to this pattern is a call for self-awareness, growth, and healing. It aligns with various spiritual and therapeutic traditions that emphasize living in the present moment, letting go of old wounds, and approaching life with openness and curiosity instead of defensiveness and fear. It's a profound and challenging task, but one that can lead to a more peaceful, fulfilling life. Unconscious conflict rehearsal beautifully encapsulates a significant human struggle, containing the seed of the possibility for transformation. It's a concept that resonates with many spiritual and psychological teachings, offering a path towards a more harmonious existence. Here's a metaphor that encapsulates this idea. Imagine the mind as a garden. In this garden, there are various types of plants, trees, and flowers, each representing different thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Some of these plants are beautiful and nourishing, while others are like weeds, invasive and harmful. The act of rehearsing for conflict or division is akin to a gardener who, instead of nurturing the beautiful plants, focuses obsessively on the weeds. Every day, the gardener waters these weeds, prunes them, and gives them attention. Over time, these weeds grow stronger, taller, and more pervasive, choking out the beautiful plants and taking over the garden. This constant nurturing of the weeds symbolizes the mental habit of dwelling on conflicts, divisions, resentments, and fears. By repeatedly revisiting these negative thoughts and emotions, we strengthen them, allowing them to dominate our mind's landscape. In contrast, the teachings of mindfulness and compassion are like the tools and techniques a wise gardener would employ to nurture the beneficial plants and control the weeds. By redirecting attention and care towards the positive aspects of the garden, the beautiful plants thrive, and the weeds begin to wither away. Our focus and attention shape our mental environment. Rehearsing conflict is like tending to the weeds, allowing them to flourish and overrun the garden of our minds. In contrast, cultivating mindfulness, compassion, and understanding is like nurturing the beautiful plants, creating a garden that is balanced, harmonious, and flourishing. Thank you for listening, and see you next.